Hi, fourth graders. I hope that you're doing great. Welcome to a new science video, and we are talking about vertebrates. Last time's lesson was about fish. Let me remind you that animals are classified into two big groups. Vertebrates, which are the animals with a backbone. Invertebrates are those animals that do not have a spine, also called a backbone or a vertebral column. The giraffe, for example, has a backbone, so it is a vertebrate. The bird has a backbone. It is a vertebrate. Snakes do have a spine, so they are vertebrates. While crabs, worms, and butterflies are considered as invertebrates for not having a vertebral column. Vertebrates are classified into 5 groups: fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Last time, we talked about fish. Fish are animals that live in water. You cannot take them out of water. They will die. They use their gills to breathe. They use their fins to swim and their tail fin to swim forward in water. Those animals are covered with disconnected or detached scales, and they reproduce by laying eggs. This is why we say that fish are oviparous animals. Fish are cold-blooded animals since they do not have, like we do, a fixed body temperature. Their body temperature depends on the temperature of the environment. It changes. Look at this fish picture. Let's annotate it. What is this? I'll count to 5. It's a tail fin. You're right. What about this? What is it? Did you say a fin? You are right. What covers the fish body? Disconnected or detached scales. Good job. What are those? Those are fins. Fins help the fish swim in water. This is the gills opening. You're right. When the fish breathes, water enters the fish body through its mouth and it leaves the fish body by the gills opening. The job of the gills is to take water or to take oxygen from water before the water leaves the fish body. The fish was the first group of vertebrates. Amphibians is the second one, and we're going to talk about the animals that belong to the amphibians group, such as frogs, toads, caecilians, and salamanders. Look at the skin of those animals. How is it? Is it covered with scales, fur, hair, feathers? No, those animals are naked. Their skin is shiny, slimy, slippery, moist skin. So we say that amphibians have a moist skin. Amphibians do not have scales, hair, fur, or feathers, but they have a moist skin, a slimy skin. Amphibians lay eggs in water. They are oviparous animals. Yes, you're right, because they reproduce by laying eggs, and they are, like fish, oviparous. Those animals lay eggs in water. Adult frogs or tadpoles hatch out of the eggs. And these tadpoles have things in common with fish. They live in water, they use their fins to swim, and they use their gills to breathe. So again, frogs lay eggs in water. They are oviparous animals. Tadpoles or larvae The larvae of frogs hatch from the eggs and live in water. When frogs or amphibians are too young, they use their fins to swim and their gills to breathe. Adult frogs are different. They can live on land too. So adult frogs, big frogs, live on land and in water. This is why we consider them as amphibians. The word amphibian means two lives. Amphibians have a life in water and another life on land. Big amphibians have legs, most of them, and they breathe using lungs and using the moist skin we just talked about. This is why they need to live near to places, to wet places where there is water so they can keep their skin wet. So what did we say about those pretty amphibians? Yes, they have a moist, slimy skin. They reproduce by laying eggs, so they are oviparous animals. Tadpoles, the baby frogs, baby amphibians, tadpoles live in water and they use their fins to swim and their gills to breathe. Big amphibians can live on land and in water. Tadpoles, as I said, breathe with their gills, while adults breathe with their lungs and skin. Amphibians are cold-blooded. Do they have a fixed body temperature? No, they don't have a fixed body temperature. Their body temperature depends on the surrounding, so they are cold-blooded. We are not cold-blooded. Look at the salamanders. Salamanders are amphibians. They lay eggs in water. Look at the larva. The larva is the young salamander. It is a baby. And look at the adult, the big one. The baby stage looks very different from the adult stage. So the baby is very different from the big one. Amphibians go through an important change. They, while growing from the larva stage to the adult stage, they lose their gills and they start using their lungs for breathing. They lose their fins and grow legs for moving. This change, the whole process is called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. So again, what is metamorphosis? It is the change or the transformation that amphibians go through during their lives. They change a lot. When they are babies, they use their gills to breathe and their fins to swim. But when they grow, they use their lungs and skin to breathe and their legs to move. So they change a lot. Baby amphibians live in water, while big amphibians live in water and on land. Look at this video. This video shows the metamorphosis of a frog. It starts with a tadpole in water. Can you see the change that this animal is going through? It will lose its tail, grow legs, and here is the adult frog. We'll watch it again. The tadpole growing, growing. In this stage, it is using gills and fins. It loses gills and fins and grows lungs and legs. And this is our lesson. What did we say about amphibians? They have a moist, smooth, slimy skin. It is a slippery skin. Adults have legs, while tadpoles, babies, have fins. Adults breathe with their lungs and skin. Babies or tadpoles use their gills to breathe. An amphibian goes through metamorphosis. It starts as an egg, since amphibians are oviparous animals. Tadpoles or baby amphibians hatch from eggs and they grow in water. This change is called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Baby amphibians don't look like big amphibians. This change or transformation is called metamorphosis. A salamander is also an amphibian. One special thing that salamanders can do is that when they feel in danger, they can lose on purpose. They put to escape the predator, they forego their tails and they can grow new ones. Let's watch this video together.
We're going to have a look at the way in which an amputated limb grows over the course of about 90 days in a salamander. That's a time-lapse movie.
Okay, so the
Here's the salamander.
limb or the leg is cut.
It looks perfect. It has inside bone. It has nerves and muscle, and it can even wiggle. In fact, it's perfect. Now we're going to cut it.
Look what the salamander will do.
Here's the good news. It grows back.
It grows back.
First, wound healing. Did you see that wound heal? Now we're watching what the nuke can do that we cannot do. Cells are streaming out of the surrounding tissues into the area of the wound and forming what we call a blastema, which is a group of undifferentiated cells that are in fact really just like stem cells. And they're multicolored because they come from skin, from muscle, and even from cartilage. And these have a miraculous memory of what they used to be and are able to form a perfectly functional limb.
Okay, so salamanders are special since they can grow a new limb if they lose something in their body.
We're going to...
Let's recap. Amphibians have a moist, slimy skin. They are oviparous animals. They lay eggs. Tadpoles have gills and fins, while adults have lungs and legs. This change is called metamorphosis. Amphibians are also cold-blooded. How are amphibians and fish similar and how they are different? Let's compare and contrast a salamander to a fish. Both are vertebrates. Yes, for sure. They both have a vertebral column. They both lay eggs and they lay them in water. They are both cold-blooded animals. What's the difference between a salamander and a fish? Salamanders have a moist, slimy skin, while fish have disconnected scales. Okay, this is how we will compare them. 1 to 1. Salamanders have a moist, slimy skin, while fish have detached scales. Salamanders use their legs to move. Fish use their fins to move. Salamanders use their lungs to breathe, lungs and skin, while fish use their gills to breathe. So, in the middle, we can see how salamanders and fish are similar, and in the two other sides, on the two sides, we can see how they are different. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you. Bye-bye.